Kyle Okposo was born on April 16, 1988 in St. Paul, Minnesota. In a city known for hockey, Okposo got started at an early age.
Growing up in Minnesota, it's a lot about hockey. And, St. Paul, I grew up in the capital, right in the city and, small community. So, we'd go play on the outdoor rinks. And, after school, I'd be there from 3 to about 9 o'clock. My dad would probably come 3 times to pick me up, but I wouldn't want to leave. And so, it's a state of hockey, and I'm proud to be from there.
Growing up, Okposo had other interests. Basketball and football were a big part of Kyle's life until the age of 14 when he decided to pursue a career in hockey.
I might have liked basketball better for a couple years, and I took a year off hockey in 8th grade to play basketball and football. I was 14 years old, and it was the middle of the summer, and I had a choice to go to Shattuck St. Mary's or the local high school, Cretin, which I probably would have ended up playing football for as long as I could. And I was sitting in my kitchen in August and still hadn't made a decision, and I just kind of decided, I was like, yeah, I want to play hockey. So that year when I was playing at Shattuck, there was a lot of scouts, and I started to talk to a lot of colleges and some NHL scouts, and that's when I really knew that I could have a future in this.
Okposo played 3 years at Shattuck St. Mary's and finished his junior year with 47 goals and 45 assists in just 65 games. The total was third behind then-seniors Michael Gergen and Jonathan Taves.
There's a lot of guys that have came out of there, Sidney Crosby and Jack Johnson, Drew Stafford, Zach Parise, Patrick Eves. There's been a lot of good hockey players. It's kind of a hockey factory almost, and it's boarding school, so we live there 5 days a week, and it's kind of, you make special bonds with people at Shattuck, and that's something that I've carried over, and I still talk to a lot of guys today.
Following his junior year at Shattuck, Okposo was chosen first overall in the 2005 USHL entry draft by the Des Moines Buccaneers. In his only season with the Buccaneers, Okposo won USHL Rookie of the Year honors. He also led his team to the Clark Cup Championship and was named USHL Playoff MVP.
It was my senior year of high school, and switching schools like that was a bit of an adjustment, but the team there was great, and I love the guys, and I still talk to my billets and that I lived with there and a few of the guys, and we had a great year and we had a great team, and that was a special year in my life.
That summer, in the 2006 NHL entry draft, the New York Islanders selected Okposo with the 7th overall pick. Okposo would have to wait to get a taste of the NHL, however, as he had already committed to the University of Minnesota.
I didn't know who was going to pick me, but the Islanders called my name, and I was pretty ecstatic to go from that professional atmosphere and introduction with the draft to go back to college. It was a little bit different, but at the end of the day, I knew I was going to be going to college. I had committed previously when I was 15 or 16 years old to go to the University of Minnesota, and I knew that I was going to go there for at least one year, and to go to the University of Minnesota, to wear that sweater, being a St. Paul kid, was a tremendous honor. I used to sit in my basement and watch their games on Friday and Saturday nights and try to imitate what they were doing, with the stick and the little ball. And so to play for them was definitely a great experience for me.
2007-2008 was a whirlwind season for Okposo. He played for teams at 4 different levels of competition. He began the season as a Minnesota Golden Gopher, and was a member of the World Junior team before graduating to the professional ranks with the Bridgeport Sound Tigers of the AHL and ultimately the New York Islanders in the NHL. Okposo got his shot in the National Hockey League in the spring of 2008.
07-08 season was a journey, that's for sure. Started the year at Minnesota, and then I went to World Juniors around Christmas time, and anytime that you get to wear the USA on your chest, it's definitely a special feeling. And finished that tournament and went on to Bridgeport and played about 30 games there, and to start my professional career, and that was it was a good thing. It was fun, and the guys down there were great. And then obviously got called up here for the last 9 games of the season, and that was pretty nerve-wracking. My first game was against Toronto, and I was so nervous. I just remember sitting in the hotel room and thinking about the game. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't nap, and so this is what I've been waiting for the last however many years for the last 19 years of my life for. And the game itself, it was a little different. There was a crazy goal. John Davison scored a goal from the bottom of the circles in our own end on the penalty kill. So that's what I remember most about that game. But I just remember a lot of nerves, and I felt very motivated and encouraged by the support that I was getting from the community. A lot of guys telling me a lot of good things.
It didn't take long for Okposo to record his first NHL goal. On March 21st, 2008, playing in only his second NHL game, Okposo netted the game winner for the Islanders against Martin Brodeur and the New Jersey Devils.
First NHL goal was my second game, and it was a 1-1 game, I believe, with 3.5 or so minutes left, and we were on the power play, and I was pretty excited to get out there on the power play. We were having a pretty good game, my line with Richard Park and Blake Como, and so I was just standing in front of the net, and I believe it was Motto that cross-checked me a little bit, and I don't know how, but my helmet just popped right off, and I was just I kind of circled around the slot, and Richard Park had the puck on the half wall and found me, and he passed to me, and I shot a one-timer past him, and it was a great feeling. I still get chills thinking about it, and Parky actually thought that I threw my own helmet off after I scored, so a little funny snippet about that, but ended up being the game winner, and I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
The 2010-2011 season was one riddled with injury for the New York Islanders. Leading the league in man games lost, few players escaped the bug, and Okposo was no exception. Okposo hurt his shoulder during training camp and later discovered he would sit out for most of the season.
It was an inter-squad scrimmage, and I just noticed my shoulder was bothering me, and I came back, and the doctors kind of checked it out, and they thought that it was probably something serious. And at the time, I didn't think, that I'd be out for very long, maybe a couple-week thing. And I saw the doctor the next day, and he told me that, I had a torn labrum. I didn't understand the impact that it was going to have on me when he told me I needed surgery. And even then, when Mark and I went to Cleveland to get the surgery the night before, I was like, I'll be back more quickly than that they're saying. But once I got the surgery and I started to do a little bit of the rehab, I realized that it was going to be a long process and it was going to be a grind. And mentally, it was one of the tougher things that I've had to deal with in my life. There's ups and downs, and you're not around the guys for the first couple months, so you're pretty lonely. And then you start to be around the guys a little bit more, and you don't really know, the inside jokes and the customs and how the room is. So you have to kind of learn everything. And that was probably the toughest thing for me, but it was definitely worth it in the end.
Without Okposo and other key players, the misfortune proved to be too much for the Islanders. Following a strong start, the team endured a stretch of 21 losses in 23 games at one point. There was a light at the end of the tunnel, however. Okposo would return to the ice for his first game of the season on January 20th, 2011. With Okposo in the lineup, the Islanders tallied points in 22 of their remaining 38 games, and a bond was formed between Okposo and his new line mates.
Playing with Franzi and Grabs, it's so easy. Those guys are two really smart hockey players, and Grabs obviously utilizes his best asset, which is his speed, and Franzi is a really underrated player, and he's so smart. He makes great decisions with the puck and without the puck. And I attribute it to Cappy too. He's kept us together. We've had a couple games where we haven't played very well, but for the most part, he's kept us together and helped us develop that chemistry. And I think the biggest lesson for us is that you're going to have slides throughout the year. It's an up and down season. It's an 82-game schedule. Every team has its ups and downs, but you just have to find a way and to keep working and just get out of it. And I think that's going to go a long way, for the future, for next year, for our club. And we have a lot of players that are hopefully going to be coming back, and so we're going to learn from them.